I am Tokugawa Ieyasu, the founder of the Tokugawa Shogunate, a dynasty that shaped Japan for centuries and secured an era of unprecedented peace and stability. My life was one of trials, strategy, and perseverance, a journey from the turbulent provinces of feudal Japan to the apex of power, where I forged a legacy that exceeded even the emperor's influence. I was born in 1543 when Japan was fractured by constant warfare among daimyo lords vying for supremacy. My father, Matsudaira Hirotada, was the lord of Mikawa province, and my childhood was marked by the harsh realities of political alliances. At the age of 6, I was sent as a hostage to the Imagawa clan, a move designed to secure my family's allegiance. Though these years were difficult, they taught me patience, discipline, and the art of survival. When the Imagawa fell at the Battle of Okahazama in 1560, I seized the opportunity to assert my independence. Aligning with Oda Nobunaga, a rising power in central Japan, I began my climb toward dominance. As an ally of Nobunaga, I solidified my control over Mikawa and expanded my territories through calculated warfare and diplomacy. After Nobunaga's assassination in 1582, I navigated the chaotic aftermath with caution. I allied myself with Toyotomi Hideyoshi, Nobunaga's successor, who sought to unify Japan under his rule. Though I served Hideyoshi, I never forgot my ambitions. When Hideyoshi passed away in 1598, leaving his young son Hideyori as his heir, I saw my chance to claim supremacy. In 1600, I faced the forces loyal to the Toyotomi clan at the Battle of Sekigahara, a conflict that would determine the fate of Japan. Through masterful strategy and the timely defection of key rivals, I emerged victorious. This battle solidified my position as the most powerful lord in Japan. In 1603, I was appointed shogun by the emperor, though the title was largely symbolic. True power lay in my hands. I established my capital in Edo, modern-day Tokyo, far from the imperial court in Kyoto, ensuring that the emperor remained a figurehead while I ruled in all but name. In 1605, I formally retired as shogun, passing the title to my son Hidetada. This was a strategic move to ensure a smooth succession while I continued to wield power from behind the scenes. My later years were devoted to securing the Tokugawa legacy, which would endure for over 250 years. My greatest political maneuver was ensuring the loyalty of the imperial court and the daimyo through marriages, alliances, and economic policies. I also promoted Neo-Confucian ideals, fostering a society built on order and duty. My life is a testament to the power of patience, strategy, and the unyielding pursuit of one's vision. I am Tokugawa Ieyasu, the architect of a peaceful Japan, the unifier of warring clans, and the ruler who redefined the balance of power between the shogun and the emperor.
The Tokugawa Shogunate, also known as the Edo period, which lasted from 1603 to 1867, marked a transformative era in Japanese history. Established by Tokugawa Ieyasu after his decisive victory at the Battle of Sekigahara in 1600, this shogunate heralded over 2.5 centuries of relative peace, economic prosperity, and strict social order. Its governance framework and cultural developments significantly shaped Japan's modern identity. It was the early 1600s in Japan, a time of chaos and warring states. Tokugawa Ieyasu emerged victorious at the Battle of Sekigahara in 1600 that changed everything, paving the way for Ieyasu to be appointed shogun in 1603. To keep his grip on power, Ieyasu introduced some clever strategies. First, he enforced alternate attendance, or sankin-kōtai, which meant that powerful regional lords called daimyo were required to spend alternate years in Edo, the bustling city we now know as Tokyo. While they were away, their families stayed behind in Edo, essentially as hostages. It's a calculated move to keep the daimyo in check. Next, Ieyasu played a strategic game of land redistribution. Allies were rewarded with land, while potential troublemakers were given less favorable territories. This way, the power dynamics always favored the Tokugawa. Finally, Ieyasu closed the door on outside influence with the Sakoku Edict in the 1630s. Foreign trade was restricted to a few select ports, keeping Japan largely isolated but stable for over 2 centuries. While the Tokugawa period was largely peaceful, it was not without significant events and challenges. One of these challenges was the Siege of Osaka that took place twice in 1614 and 1615, which was a pivotal conflict in Japanese history, marking the final confrontation between the Tokugawa Shogunate and the Toyotomi clan. This conflict ultimately solidified the Tokugawa family's control over Japan, shaping the country's political landscape for the next 250 years. The siege was characterized by several attempts to breach the castle walls, but the Toyotomi defenders, bolstered by their fortified position, managed to hold out. The siege ended with a temporary truce, and Hideyori was forced to dismantle certain parts of the castle as a sign of submission, though the Toyotomi clan still maintained control. Having strengthened their position, Tokugawa decided to launch a more decisive attack. In the winter of 1615, Tokugawa forces besieged Osaka once again. The Toyotomi defenders were no match for the Tokugawa's superior numbers and firepower. The final assault in the summer of 1615 led to the fall of Osaka Castle. Toyotomi Hideyori and his mother, Yodo Dano, were both killed, marking the end of the Toyotomi clan. The Shimabara Rebellion was another challenge during the reign of Tokugawa Shogunate, which was primarily driven by the harsh policies imposed on the Christian population and the peasants of the Shimabara Peninsula and the Amakusa Islands, located in the western part of Japan. Christianity had spread in Japan during the late 16th century, notably under the patronage of powerful daimyo like Omura Sumitada. However, by the early 17th century, Tokugawa Ieyasu and his successors, particularly Tokugawa Ieyasu, saw Christianity as a threat to their authority, leading to a series of anti-Christian policies. The peasants in the Shimabara region, many of whom had converted to Christianity, faced heavy taxation, especially after a series of natural disasters that had caused famine and economic distress. The oppressive economic conditions exacerbated the discontent among the common people. The Shimabara Rebellion began in late 1637 when a group of peasants, many of whom were Christians, took up arms against the oppressive rule of Matsukura. Initially, it was a localized revolt, but it quickly grew as more peasants, Christians, and even some samurai joined the cause. The rebels were organized by a charismatic leader, Amakusa Shiro, a 16-year-old boy who became the symbol of the revolt. The rebellion was harshly suppressed by the Tokugawa forces, and in the end, after a prolonged siege, the rebels were defeated. Another event that struck Edo, modern-day Tokyo, in 1657 during the early years of the Edo period under the Tokugawa Shogunate, was the Great Fire of Meireki. It is one of the most devastating fires in Japanese history and had a profound impact on the city, the people, and the administration of the Tokugawa Shogunate. The fire started on March 2, 1657, and raged for 3 days, continuing until March 4, 1657, devastating a huge portion of the city of Edo, including residential areas, marketplaces, temples, and administrative buildings. It is estimated that around 100,000 to 200,000 people perished in the fire, though the exact death toll is difficult to confirm.